Dear student, I am Arun Kumar, Assistant Professor, EEE Department, Arunachala College of Engineering for Women. Today we are going to discuss about power semiconductor devices. First one is classification of semiconductor switching devices. Based on turn-on and turn-off characteristics and gate signal requirements, the power semiconductor devices can be classified as first one is diodes. These are uncontrolled rectifying devices. Their on and off states are controlled by power supply. Second one is thyristor. These have controlled turn on by a gate signal. After thyristors are turned on, they remain latched in on state due to internal regenerative action. Then the controlled switches are BJT, MOSFET, GTO, SITH, IGBT, SIT and MCT. These devices which behave as controllable switches. SCR, GTO, SITH and MCT require pulse gate signal for turning them on. Once these devices are on, gate pulse is removed. But BJT, MOSFET, IGBT and SIT requires continuous signal for keeping them in turn-on state. The devices which can withstand unipolar voltage are BJT, MOSFET, IGBT and MCT. Thyristors and GTOs are capable of supporting bipolar voltages. Triode and RCT possess bidirectional current capability, whereas all other remaining devices are unidirectional current devices. Next topic is power diode. Power diode is a two-layer, two-terminal PN junction semiconductor device. It has one PN junction formed by alloying, diffusion or epitaxial growth. The two terminals of diodes are called anode and cathode. Next, diode VI characteristics. When anode is positive with respect to cathode, diode is said to be forward bias. With the increase of the source voltage VI from zero value, initially diode current is 0. From V equal to 0 to cut-in voltage, the forward diode current is very small. Cut-in voltage is also known as threshold voltage or turn-on voltage. Beyond cut-in voltage, the diode current rises rapidly and the diode is said to conduct. For silicon diode, the cut-in voltage is around 0.7 volt, and for germanium diode, the cut-in voltage is around 0.3 volt. When diode conducts, there is a forward voltage drop of the order of 0.8 to 1 volt. When cathode is positive with respect to anode, the diode is said to be reverse biased. In the reverse bias condition of the diode, a small reverse current called leakage current of the order of microamperes or milliamperes flows. The leakage current increases slowly with the reverse voltage until breakdown or avalanche voltage is reached. At this breakdown voltage, diode is turned on in the reverse direction. If current in the reverse direction is not limited by series resistance, the current will become quite high to destroy the diode. The reverse avalanche breakdown of a diode is avoided by operating the diode below specified repetitive reverse voltage. Figure shows the characteristics of VI characteristics of diode. Next, types of power diodes. Diodes are classified according to their reverse recovery characteristics. The three types of power diodes are: first one is general purpose diodes, second one is fast recovery diodes, third one is Schottky diodes. First one is general purpose diodes. These diodes have relatively high reverse recovery time of the order of about 25 microseconds. Their current ratings vary from 1 ampere to several thousand amperes, and the range of voltage rating is from 50 volt to about 5 kilovolt. Second one is fast recovery diodes. Fast recovery diodes have low reverse recovery time of about 5 microseconds or less, are classified as fast recovery diodes. These are used in choppers, commutation circuits, SMPS, induction heating, etc. Their current ratings vary from 1 ampere to several thousand amperes, and voltage ratings from 50 volt to about 3 kilovolt. Third one is Schottky diodes. This class of diodes use metal to semiconductor junction for rectification purposes instead of PN junction. Schottky diodes are characterized by very fast recovery time and low forward voltage drop. Their reverse voltage ratings are limited to about 100 volt, and forward current ratings vary from 1 ampere to 300 ampere. Next is thyristor. Thyristor is a 4-layer 3-junction PN-PN semiconductor device. It has 3 terminals. First one is anode, second one is cathode, and last one is gate. It is a unidirectional device. The symbol also shown in figure. Next, static VI characteristics of a thyristor. Figure shows elementary circuit diagram for obtaining static VI characteristics of a thyristor is shown in figure. The anode and cathode are connected to main source through the load. The gate and cathode are fed from a source ES, which provides positive gate current from gate to cathode. The figure shows static VI characteristics of a thyristor. Here, VA is the anode voltage across thyristor terminals A and K, and IA is the anode current. Typical SCR VA characteristics reveals that a thyristor has 3 basic modes of operation. First one is reverse blocking mode. Second one is forward blocking mode. Third one is forward conduction mode. First one is reverse blocking mode. Second one is forward blocking mode, that is off state. Third one is forward conduction mode, that is on state. First mode of operation, reverse blocking mode. When cathode is made positive, with respect to anode with switch S open. Thyristor is reverse biased. Under reverse bias conditions, junction J1 and J3 are seen to be reverse biased where junction J2 is forward biased. The device behaves as if two diodes are connected in series with reverse voltage applied across them. A small leakage current of the order of a few milliamperes or few microamperes flows. This is reverse blocking mode called the off state of thyristor. If the reverse voltage is increased, then at a critical breakdown level called reverse breakdown voltage VBR, an avalanche occurs at J1 and J3 and the reverse current increases rapidly. Next, second mode of operation, forward blocking mode. When anode is positive with respect to the cathode with the gate circuit open, thyristor is said to be forward biased. From figure, the junctions J1 and J3 are forward biased, but junction J2 is reverse biased. In this mode, a small current called forward leakage current flows. In case the forward voltage is increased, then the reverse bias junction J2 will have an avalanche breakdown at voltage called forward breakover voltage VBO. When forward voltage is less than VBO, SCR offers a high impedance. Therefore, a thyristor can be treated as an open switch even in the forward blocking mode. Then, third, forward conduction mode. In this mode, thyristor conducts currents from anode to cathode with a very small voltage drop across it. A thyristor is brought from forward blocking mode to forward conduction mode by turning it on by exceeding the forward breakover voltage or by applying a gate pulse between gate and cathode. In this mode, thyristor is in on state and behaves like a closed switch. Voltage drop across thyristor in the on state is of the order of 1 volt to 2 volt depending on the rating of SCR. Then some important definitions. First one is latching current. It is the minimum anode current required to maintain the thyristor in the on state immediately after a thyristor has been turned on state has occurred and the gate signal has been removed. Latching current, it is the minimum anode current required to maintain the thyristor in the on state immediately after a thyristor has been turned on state has occurred and the gate signal has been removed. Second one is holding current, IH. It is the minimum anode current to maintain the thyristor in the on state. These are the two important definitions used in thyristors. Next topic is thyristor turn-on methods or different turn-on methods for SCR. With anode positive with respect to cathode. With anode positive with respect to cathode, a thyristor can be turned on by any one of the following techniques. First one is forward voltage triggering. Second one, gate triggering. Third one is dV by dt triggering. Fourth one is temperature triggering. And last one, light triggering. So first method, forward voltage triggering. First method, forward voltage triggering. When anode to cathode forward voltage is increased with gate circuit open. When anode to cathode forward voltage is increased with gate circuit open, the reverse bias junction J2 will break. This is known as avalanche breakdown, and the voltage at which avalanche occurs is called forward breakover voltage VBO. At this voltage, thyristor changes from off state to on state characterized by low voltage across thyristor with large forward current. As other junctions J1 and J3 are already forward biased, breakdown of junction J2 allows free movement of carriers across three junctions, and as a result, large forward anode currents flows. As stated before, this forward current is limited by the load impedance. Second method, gate triggering. Turning on of thyristors by gate triggering is simple, reliable, and efficient. It is therefore the most usual method of firing the forward biased SCRs. A thyristor with the forward breakover voltage higher than the normal working voltage is chosen. This means that thyristor will remain in forward blocking state with normal working voltage across anode and cathode and with the gate open. However, when turn on of a thyristor is required, a positive gate voltage between gate and cathode is applied with the gate current thus established. Charges are injected into the inner P layer and voltage at which forward breakover occurs is reduced. The forward voltage at which the device switches to on state depends upon the magnitude of gate current. Higher the gate current, lower is the forward breakover voltage. When positive gate current is applied, gate P layer is flooded with electrons from the cathode. This is because cathode N layer is heavily doped as compared to gate P layer. As the thyristor is forward biased, some of these electrons reach junction J2. As a result, width of depletion layer around junction J2 is reduced. This causes the junction J2 breakdown at an applied voltage lower than forward breakover voltage VBO. If magnitude of gate current is increased, more electrons will reach junction J2, and as a consequence, thyristor will get turned on at a much lower forward applied voltage. The next one is dV by dt triggering. This is a turning on method, but it may lead to destruction of SCR, and so it must be avoided. When SCR is forward biased, junction J1 and J3 are forward biased, and junction J2 is reverse bias, so it behaves as if an insulator is placed between two conducting plates. Here, J1 and J3 acts as a conducting plate and J2 acts as an insulator. J2 is known as junction capacitor. J2 is known as junction capacitor. So, if we increase the rate of change of forward voltage instead of increasing the magnitude of voltage, junction J2 breaks and start conducting. A high value of changing current may damage the SCR, so SCR may be protected from high dV by dt. Next method, temperature triggering. During forward bias, J2 is reverse bias, so a leakage forward current always associated with SCR. Now, as we know, the leakage current is temperature dependent. So, if we increase the temperature, the leakage current will also increase the heat dissipation of junction J2 occurs. When this heat reaches a sufficient value, J2 will break and conduction starts. The disadvantages of this method is this type of triggering causes local hotspot and may cause thermal runaway of the device. This triggering cannot be controlled easily and it is very costly. Then next one is light triggering. First, a new recess or niche is made in the inner P layer. When this recess is irradiated, then free charge carriers, that is electrons and holes, are generated. Now, if the intensity is increased above a certain value, then it leads to turn on of SCR. Such SCR are known as light actuated SCR. Okay, thank you, students.